You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freedom, Health and Lifestyle. Of course, this is personal development with a business plan. And of course, I've got my good friend Joey. He'll be on in a second, just 1 second, right? I'm just going to get some admin done. So this is episode 119. Look at that, I've doubled up there. I'll have to change that. So episode 119, you have to have faith, right? Let me fix that. Okay. Right, so you have to have faith. And Freedom, Health and Lifestyle, and this show, if you like, is all about thinking better and doing better. And, I'm going to give a shout out to Joey in a minute. We're going to get him on, right? Just be patient. But this is about, thinking and doing better. But don't forget, like, subscribe, share, click that notification button so you'll find out when we're on, usually around about the same time every week. And of course, you can find me here at The Real Mick McQuillan on Facebook. And of course, Joey Unger, also on Facebook, joey.unger. Go and check him out. You're going to want to check him out. Now, we're going to bring Joey on in a second, but I wanted to get just a moment of uninterrupted time just to say congratulations to Joey. Look at this. Look at this. Absolutely amazing. Don't forget, go and find Joey here, joeyunger1.isogenics.com.en-au. Link is in the description, but go and check out Joey. Go and find out what he's doing. He is tearing it up. Joey, amazing. I just want to say congratulations to you and Sina. You are doing an amazing job, Joey. I can't see you,
Thanks,
but
Mike.
I can hear you
Yeah, can you hear me?
loud and clear. There you are.
Hello. Yeah, we're currently traveling back from another state to where we live in Sydney.
Mm,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the recognition and also the congratulations. It's been a while to me because, like I said, I take you with me, Mike, because you are one of those people that always believed in me when I first started, even though the training was not easy. And I'm glad you mentioned that because my wife she's driving now, so I can have an opportunity to talk to you and our audience. Uh, despite, can you hear me?
I can, Joey. You're doing amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure that our audience hear me loud and clear. Okay, yeah. So me and my wife on our way back home, we had like 3 hours to go. This is like 10-hour driving back from another state to another state,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
we do this. We do this as part of like bonding that we have because we both work. Um, and we enjoy what we do. We're living and also to add income, but at the same time, with our professional of network marketing, because we have some great products that we can share with the marketplace that transforms people's life and health, and also give them opportunity to add extra income part time, and while they keep their option open with doing what they love most, like whether it's a full-time job or full-time business owner. So very grateful to be honest, and I thank you for mentioning that because me and my wife joined forces together. Finally, after 4 years of struggling and perseverance and learn about myself, to believe in my ability to make a positive impact in people's life, whether it's physically or financially, or finally the right people show up in my journey and my life, and we are able to shift the momentum of my business now. The things that it took me a year to achieve, I just achieve it within 1 week or less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
One time the
And
letter.
Joey, that's what this
Yep.
show is about. That's what this show this week is about, is that you have to have faith. And faith is believing in what you can't see yet, but knowing your heart is possible. And that's really what you've done. You've had faith that you could do this, and you've had that belief. And it is about planting that seed, that knowing in your heart that you can do this and that it's going to happen. And with faith, you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to trust that the next step, will appear when you take that first or that next step. And that's what you did. You were taking steps, knowing that what you wanted, and in fact, this is a quote from Joey, intentionally act on the thing that you want. And that's about having faith. That's about having faith, Joey. And you have literally proved to every man and his dog, right, that if you believe in something and you have faith in it and you take intentional steps, and action, that you can get what you want, right? And it's beautiful, Joey. It's a beautiful story. Well done. Congratulations. You're a superstar.
Thank you, Mike. And I always I'll never forget you because you are one of those people that pour into me. Keep cheering on me and said, Joey, I'm gonna see you on the top one day, and just hang in there and just keep planting the seed. And every week with our little program and our podcast, it's helping watering that seed that we was planted. And like you said, I came in with hope that I will become an entrepreneur, and I didn't know, much about entrepreneur to become a business owner. I never have that background or study any degree about business, but I decided because of my health journey that I would change something. I would do something to achieve uh, achieve my goal, whether it's financially or physically. But when I look at the opportunity, I didn't realize that the amazing product that we have, we can help improve the quality of my life and my health. And the most important thing to me in this journey, Mike, I have to share with our audience, is the person I become on the journey. I get to a point that income and money is very important. It's like oxygen that we need it every single day to pay the bill, to support our take our family for a nice holiday or something like that. But because I learn about myself and I develop and I grow as a person, I realize the most important thing for me is how I can contribute to this world. How can I contribute to my family? And how can I become, in a sense that how can I be a role model for my family, for my wife, my kids? And when I decided to be serious about my health, be serious about my personal growth, it's impact my family. My kids are doing their own things to keep them healthy. My wife is doing her own things, like with look after her nutrition and also walking when she got a chance after busy schedule at work. And that's the joy that brings to my life is the contribution, the impact that I make because of the small seed that I planted in me. I came in with hope, and I'm still on the journey, but I believe because I have people like yourself that believe in me and help me water that seed. Now I look back on my journey, I'm so happy that I never give up. With 4 years of struggling, I just never give up. I get to a point I double question what I did, what I decided to do, but I'm very grateful that I have people like yourself and people like Bob Proctor, Eric Worre, those people that show up in my life and mentor me and just cheering me and say, if you hang in there, do the right thing with the right intention, one day you will become a tree. With persistence, with patience, you will grow as like a tree and you will be greener, will produce fruit, and not only your family will enjoy that fruit, but the people that you come in contact with. So, yeah, Mike, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's all working together, yourself, myself, and the people that we grow together, at the beginning. It's all collaborate and help in some way to achieve something better. Like I always say to my team, together everyone achieves more. And that's the definition for me of a team. The word team, there's no I, it's only we. And that we only here to help each other because as you realize in our professional, we win when we help other people win in life. So Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Amazing, Joey. Amazing. No, you deserve all the credit. And look, don't forget Joey's Facebook page there, facebook.com/joey.unga. And you can see here we're just scrolling through Joey's Facebook here, and all of the things that he's doing, the people that he's meeting, the difference that he's making in other people's lives. And of course the team that he's part of here. And listen, if you want to be part of that team and get to know Joey more, go to joey.unga1.isogenics.com /en-au. Links in the description, and join Joey's team. Join Joey's team and get motivated, get inspired, and find that purpose for your own life. I would encourage you to do that. Joey, you mentioned Bob Proctor. we're going to get into a couple of videos here. I know you're driving. Hey, Sina, appreciate you taking the wheel. Thank you so much. And congratulations to you too. Well done. Amazing job. But we're going to listen to a little bit of Bob Proctor. I know Joey, has a very deep connection with Bob and has worked with him personally. So we're going to listen to some of his stuff and hopefully get some of Joey's comments. And of course my comments too. But listen, this is about knowing. It's about having that faith, knowing that. But to be honest, there's always room for growth, Joey. Right? There's always room for growing, and that's really what we're trying to do today. Is get a little bit of growth, get a little bit of wisdom, and then maybe apply that wisdom. You've got to apply it, right? It's no good just knowing it. You've got to apply it. You've got to put it into action. And Joey is testament to that and what you can achieve, when you take the action. What does Joey say? Let's have a look. I'm going to tell you right now what Joey says. He says you've got to intentionally act on the thing that you want. So it's about having goals, right? And knowing what you want and then believe in it, having faith in it. And you can learn from Joey on how to do that for sure. Right, let's get into this first video.
And let their body relax, totally relax. Okay. And then start to visualize in their mind. See themselves the way they want to see themselves. See how you'd like to live your life. See yourself living it that way. Okay. Now understand that that's a picture in your mind. Take that picture and describe it. Write it out. Start to read it. And read it. And read it. And read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers, all down through history, have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now, it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it. Now, a lot of people will laugh at this and say, that doesn't make any sense. It makes a lot of sense. They can't tell you why it doesn't. I could spend hours telling you why it does, and I could explain it in such detail that everyone would understand it.
So, Joe, obviously you have done that, right? You've taken the time to, think about what it is you want, maybe write down your goals, and visualize those things. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, when you were making that decision to relaunch, or I want to call it relaunch, but to really kind of kickstart again, obviously you did things in a very, you must have thought about what it was you were doing. You must have been planning it out. You must have been thinking about it, and then you acted on it, right? So that starts with faith, right?
Yeah, Mike. Before I think my connection was kind of like a little bit weak, and I didn't get a chance to watch that video quickly.
That's fine.
That's okay.
That's fine. You probably already know.
But I kind of
seen it before.
correct. But I kind of like a sense what Bob was talking about. Before I contribute to our session, I just want to let you know, Mike, when Bob passed away, he always said we are spiritual beings living in a physical body. And this is how I believe. Even though he's no longer with us, but he's still incarnate in other people's lives, and it reminds me. Every time you speak to me, it kind of reminds me how Bob speaks to me, because your wisdom and your encouragement, your experience, through your experience, and what you've done before, as a business owner, building a big business in the vet industry in Ireland, and you're very successful in it with your wife, Kate. And every time you encourage me, I see Bob in you. And that's why, I want to mention that, because it's very important for our audience to realize that, when you work in a team or in a business or organization, you never know when you pour into someone that, to remind that person, maybe their hero, maybe their father, maybe their mentor, like Bob Proctor. And it remind me of those people every time you say something encouraging.
I appreciate that.
Here's the thing, Mike.
Thank you.
Every time you pour into me, you pour belief in me, you leave an impression of increasing myself. And so I just want you to let you know, and I want the audience to know about that. And my wife was just say something about, when you mentioned her and got ready, she said, what a nice person. And and that's the thing that I realized in my journey. Who am I? Who am I as a boy that came from Ireland? All I know was climbing coconut tree. And I get to meet entrepreneurs all over the world, including you, my friend. So, get back to the video that we just say. I just want to, say that to acknowledge whatever you've done to me. When I just start like that, our belief is like a seed, a master's seed. It very tiny, and when we make a decision to start something in life, we have to put that seed into a ground, to the soil. And there's a lot of story about the sower.
Yeah, I think I've lost you there, Joey. I think I think your connection's just been interrupted, and that's fine because I know you'll be back, right? But what Joey was talking about there, he was talking about the story of the sower and how there's a season for sowing, and then there's a season for harvesting, right? And you have to plant the seed, and you have to nurture the seed, you have to water the seed, you have to give it sunshine, So whatever it is that, to be honest, listen, I've got written down on my pad here, you are where you are because like you've created all of that, and that's what Joey's talking about. That you create it through planting these seeds, these positive seeds, and then nurturing them, taking action on them, And now the funny thing is that you don't see a farmer plant a seed and then dig it up every day to see how it's doing. You have to have faith that it's going to grow. You have to have faith that it's going to burst through the soil, and that's what Joey is proving, in his actions. He's planted the seed and he's taking the action daily, having the faith, having the belief that these things are going to happen, that the light is going to appear, in the direction in the direction that he's going in, so he can see further. And of course, it's starting to happen, which is amazing. It's incredible. And wow, let's watch the next video, and we'll see what Joey has to say. I'm excited. I'm excited to, like Joey's on fire at the moment, right? Don't forget, go and check him out. Links are in the description.
Decide what you want, write it on a card, carry the card in your pocket, and read it as often as possible every day. And I wrote on the card that I was going to have in my possession by New Year's Day of 1970, $25,000. I wrote that in the card in 1960. Keep in mind, I gave myself a decade to pull this deal off. I really didn't believe it was going to happen. 1 year later, I was earning $175,000 a year. Now, that's an enormous change, and it went well beyond $1 million in a year. William James, back around the turn of the century, he said, believe, and your belief will actually create the fact.
Now, Joey, I know that you have a goal card. I know it's something, I have one too, actually. And it is something that does make a difference, that keeps you on track, that reminds you and keeps you focused, because it's all good to have faith and belief, but you still need action to go with it. You still need to take steps, even if they're baby steps. And a goal card can help with that. What's your thoughts on goal cards, Joey? If you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Goal card is my best introduction to put your thoughts into, come out of your head into a paper, like, in the form of, because that's how you start to creating or manifest. That's a very deep terminology. That's when you create the idea. Everything in life, it will start from an idea. For example, the vehicle that we are currently traveling, someone was thinking, instead of walking, Henry Ford said, instead of people using horse to manually transport logistic or human beings from one place to another place, I'm going to build a mechanical horse, and it's called it the horsepower, that, that a machine that can transport human beings or logistics from one place to another place. And a lot of people tell him that he won't be able to do something like that. And then he ignored them, but he went and put his thoughts into a paper, and he find the people to be able to achieve that goal or bring that goals from thinking into reality. So my goal card, my session was actually to come out of my mind to a piece of paper, and when I did that, I follow what Bob told me, and I carry that card with me. And it's funny, when I wrote it, I have no idea how I can achieve those goals. And then I just do it anyway. Just follow instructions. And if you want to take something away from this call tonight, be a good student. I know a lot of people, they don't want to unlearn to relearn again. And I think lately my story, and Mike was mentioning that's what I did. I just unlearned everything. I just said to myself, I'm going to rebuild from the beginning. Whatever I know, because I find the right mentor, he's going to guide me, because my way was not working for a long time. Why don't I just listen to him, and whatever he told me to do, I just be a good student and just follow through. So I tell myself a command based on the code card that I wrote down 5 years ago. And that's about the thing, Mike. More than 5 years ago, I put down my code card, whether I just achieved that, I accomplished that. Funny, most of the things that I put down on my code card 7 years ago now, I already achieved that. I already accomplished that. Now it's just like an adjustment of what I achieved to do something more purposefully and fulfilling. So, but code card is a very powerful tool. So, and I think that's the point that I want to say. It's a funny thing, because a lot of people, I remember some of the people fight. I dropped my card at work, and some people look at that and said, "Oh, Joey want to have 5 properties in his portfolio," and they will laugh of it. But I achieved that within that time frame that I put down. And little things like that, it's very powerful, because that's how you water the seed that you grow, by keep looking at. And Bob said, if you keep telling yourself a lie every single day, unfortunately that lie will become a truth to you.
And Jerry, and that works both ways, right? That works both ways. Because you can tell yourself that you can't do something. You can tell yourself that you don't deserve something. You can tell yourself that you can't afford something. That lie works both ways, right? And that's what it's about. It's about reprogramming, and a goal card can help with that reprogramming. It can shift your belief. It can shift your confidence, and help you believe in you. And be a good student. That is, being a good student is having a goal card and looking at it every day and reading it every day. It's incredible, Joey. And to be honest, the fact that you put this down on a goal card and then you achieved it within the time frame that you had set for yourself, it's just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And people can learn from that. Anybody just listening to this now can think, bloody hell, Joey could do that. I could do that. Like we've got this great picture of Joey up here, right? You want to see some of the other pictures of him before, when he was lying in a hospital bed, and he needed to, and the switch was flicked, and he turned his life completely 180. So Joey is a real symbol of success. Do you know what I mean? Now, Joey hasn't made it yet. He's not all the way where he wants to be, but every step he's taken is taking him closer to his vision, to his goal, to his purpose. And in fact, he's living his purpose. He's making a difference in other people's lives. And that difference that he's making in other people's lives is having a massive impact on his own life, on his family's life. And that's just a beautiful thing. Helping others to succeed is helping Joey in his own success. What an incredible thing, So listen, you've got to get a goal card. You've got to decide what it is that you want. And then you've got to do what Joey says. You've got to be a good student. And being a good student is about, developing yourself through personal development, through understanding how you communicate with yourself, and listening to people who've gone before, people like Joey, who can tell you and show you what those next steps are for you, if any at all. So Joey, well done. Let's crack on to the next video, right? You're making a lot of sense today, Joe. Right.
A person does not understand that they can operate with their intellectual factors, they can choose the picture and get emotionally involved, and they can see the results come about in their life. They don't understand that they're letting their results control their thinking. So they set a goal, but then they look for the signals that it's going to happen, where they start to look at the empty bank account, the wealth It's no good. It's not there. We don't know if we're going to have enough money to keep going. And what we do at that point, we forget our goal and we start to worry. And then we doubt ourselves. And it's a negative experience. It's a psychic disease. That worry instantly and automatically turns into an emotional state called fear. Now keep in mind, you're working with the central nervous system. It is the most incredible electrical system in the universe. This can happen in less than a millisecond, and there's 1,000 of them in a second. That energy that we call fear, that negative energy, must be expressed through the only medium it can be expressed through, and that's this thing that you live in, your physical body. And it expresses itself in a negative vibration that's more commonly known as anxiety. I had someone talk to me here just about an hour ago about anxiety. That's the cause of anxiety. Worry isn't the cause. Fear is not the cause. Ignorance is the cause. Not knowing. Most of us are afraid to admit our ignorance. We're all ignorant. I admit my ignorance freely when it come to doing some plumbing yesterday morning at about 4:45 or something like that. I admit my ignorance when it comes to tuning up a car. I'm absolutely useless. In fact, I'm ignorant in most areas. I just know how to do what I'm doing. I don't even want to learn how to do anything else. You do this well enough, you can hire somebody to do everything else. You know. Develop your strengths, manage your weaknesses. How do we eliminate ignorance? It's very basic and very simple. We study. We study and we develop understanding. And the understanding tells us, quit let your outside world, don't let your outside world, don't let previous or present results control your thinking. Visualize what you want. Get emotionally involved with it. The understanding leads to faith, and the faith manifests on the physical plane as health and well-being. You can literally transform the state of health that your body's in. I've seen people that close to death's door change it. I've watched people who are in terrible state literally change your life. I keep telling people how much I've changed, and I know that some of you, if you're just here for the first time, you never knew me before, you'd say, wow, he's saying that's good copy for the seminar. Try to go talk to my mother. I got to the point where she was the only one that had even any hope that I'd ever wake up. You see, I kept thinking, well, gee, I'm such a mess up. You know, I've done everything wrong up till now. I'm 26, I'm broke, I'm not happy. Everything was wrong. He said, Bob, that's all in the past. Your present or past results have absolutely nothing to do with what's going to happen from this point forward. Now, that was the point that Ray Stanford drilled into my head. He said, every moment is a new moment. We shouldn't condemn ourselves. And he said, what you were yesterday, you paid for. What you are today, you decide upon.
That is a, to be honest, that's a very interesting video there. There's a lot in there. He could be talking directly to me. He could be talking directly to Joey. He's talking about those thoughts, feelings, how they manifest, into your results, whether you're thinking positive, whether you're thinking negative, it's going to manifest into results. And if you don't like the results you're getting, you got to change them. Then you got to change the way that you think. Change the way that you get emotionally involved in it. And like when I think about what Joey's done just in the last couple of weeks, Joey and Cena, what they've done in the last couple of weeks, changed their thinking, got emotionally involved in it, and it shows in the results. Amazing, Joey. Well done. Well done. Like he could have been talking about you actually lying in your hospital bed, if that makes any sense. I don't know if Joey can hear me. Is he muted? I think he is. He is muted. No, he's back now. Maybe he just got no sound. Let me see. Mute mic. I just muted him. No, can't hear you, buddy. Which is perfectly fine, right? Because he's probably, I know how much, Joey loves Bob Proctor loves talking about him. And Joey and I actually, if you're wondering where that clip comes from, that clip came from Bob Proctor's "You Were Born Rich" remastered webinar. Joey and I went through that in detail, and it's you can go and find it on YouTube. Just put in Bob Proctor remastered webinar, and that'll come up. But it's well worth having a look, right? It's well worth studying that. Like I put it on all the time when I'm just driving around. It's just well worth a watch. It really is. Right. Let's have a look at the next video.
Person does not understand that they can operate with their intellectual factors. They can choose the picture and get emotional.
Yeah, no, the next one. This is the next one.
We've got to take the beliefs that we have consciously, that we determine by thinking, and plant them in the place of the old belief. See, I used to believe that I couldn't do anything better than I was doing. But you know something? As I changed my paradigm, my whole world changed. That's what it's all about. You've got to change your paradigm if you want to change your life. How is the paradigm formed? Through the repetition of information. How's the paradigm changed? Repetition of information. Now let's suppose you're having a difficult time with money. You've got to change your concept about money. How do you do that? Through the repetition of an idea. That's where affirmations comes in. I'll give you one I've been using for years. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. You don't just say that once or twice. You've got to repeat that maybe 1,000 times a day, every day for maybe 90 days, and you'll start to change your whole concept about money.
If you were paying attention, Joey was actually talking about this earlier when he was talking about the gold card and everything else. And this is part of the importance of it. And, of course, there's a quote that I always like to reference, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you've got to build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. Now, when I think about that, I'm applying that to my paradigm, to how I think and how I feel about things. And sometimes how I think about and how I feel about things aren't really maybe in line with what I really believe about them, or aren't really in line with what I believe to be true. So, like you can have these thoughts that aren't congruent with what it is that you want. And it's those thoughts that you have to discard and change and not think about, separate from, your consciousness, get rid of them. So listen, I don't have all the answers. I really don't. But Bob was talking about you've got to have an idea, and then you've got to act on that idea. This stuff is so bananas. Simple stuff. Have a goal card. And to have a goal card, you've got to have a goal, or you've got to have an idea of what it is that you want. What does Joey say? Joey says it best. I can't remember. Where is it? Decide what you really want. You've got to decide what you really want. Put it down on paper, like Joey was talking about. And then take action. You've got to think about it. You've got, visualize it. That's what Bob was talking about. You've got to take time, visualize how you want your life to be, and get emotionally involved with it, right? You got to feel it. You got to feel it like it's already there. And it's all in that video that we watched at the beginning. We're going to watch it again at the end, but you've got to get emotionally involved in it. Look, I'm going to take Joey's advice. Get a goal card. Write down what you really, really want. Focus on it. Read it every day, morning, night, noon, whenever, right? And decide what you really, really want. Put it down on paper, and believe in yourself. Believe that you can have it. You've got to have that belief. You've got to get emotionally involved in it. Right. Okay. Right. Where are we now? Let's watch the next one. Right. And let's see where we go.
Self-doubt is the opposite of self-confidence. Confidence comes from understanding. Like I would imagine you're confident you can drive your car. In fact, you're so confident that you'll be talking to somebody on the phone, you'll get in the car, you'll start the car, you'll drive, and you'll drive maybe 4 or 5 blocks, not even being aware of what you've done. It's all done automatic. Your concentration is on the conversation you're on. Now, when you first got in a car, you couldn't do that. The car was probably jumping all over the place, and you thought you'd never learn how to drive it. But you learned how to drive it. Now you're quite confident. You're confident that you can get dressed when you get up in the morning. When you were a little boy or a little girl, you couldn't do that. You had to be taught to do it. Well, self-confidence comes, like all confidence, it comes with knowledge. And the more you study you, the more you understand who you are, the more confident you'll become in your ability to do whatever it is you're doing. And you'll know that if you lack confidence in an area, it's because you lacked information in that area. Get some good material out and study it. Our company puts out such phenomenal material. It's material I've been studying for over 50 years. And not just studying, but demonstrating, using it. We've watched millions of people go from poverty to abundance. Not by accident, but by design. Never doubt yourself. And when you do, understand that the cause of that doubt is not lying within you. It's in wrong thinking. It's in not understanding who you are. Study yourself. Self-study will develop self-confidence. And self-confidence eliminates self-doubt.
Crazy. You know, I love that. I love the idea of you know, what Joey was saying there, be a good student, totally in line with what Bob Proctor's saying there about being a good student. Hold on a second. Joey is typing. Hold on. Joey's in the countryside. The reception is bad. He's in the countryside, in the middle of nowhere, in the outback, right? Which is fine. It's fine, Joey. We've got you. And listen, you know, get home safe. Joey's amazing, right? He really is. But that's what Joey was saying. He was talking about being a good student, right? He's talking about, you know, working on yourself. And, you know, look, my gateway into personal development was maybe about 30 years ago with a book called The Magic of Thinking Big. And that book really, it was just like a bloody personal journey for me. I didn't want to read it, but I wasn't forced to read it, but I read it because I was challenged by somebody. And so I read it, even though I didn't want to, but it started me on this journey of personal growth. And it really started to help me understand how I communicated with myself, how I thought, and, you know, my train of thoughts, you know, and it really just helped me. It helped me to understand myself better and to communicate with myself better, because we do talk to ourselves, right? And, you know, you become what you think about. This is what Bob Proctor talks about. It's what Joey talks about. And you become what you think about. So, you know, that book kind of helped me start to realize, you know, how I was thinking, what I was thinking, you know, when I was thinking things. And of course, we're thinking all the time. We have about 80,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are habitual thoughts that you had yesterday and the day before and the day before. So it's about, yeah, and this is what Bob's talking about when he's talking about this paradigm, you know, and how do you shift that paradigm? So it's not an easy thing to do. You know, you got to become aware. And how do you do that? By doing what Bob's talking about, by studying, by picking up a book and learning about yourself, you know, and that growth that comes from that, and understanding how you can be better. And that's really what we all want. We all want better, you know. And Joey's leading the way as an example of, you know, how to do that and how to do things better. You know, not hear him talk about, you know, having a goal card where he wrote down, I want five houses in this space of time. People seeing that card and kind of laughing and saying, oh yeah, you can't do that. And then he goes ahead and does it, you know. Why not? You know, incredible. Right, where are we at? Is this the last one? It could be the last one. Let's have a listen.
If you believe. Well, you know, I studied for a long time. I started to study this book, Think and Grow Rich. And he talks about belief in here. He says you're not ready for what you want until you believe you can get it. I found that the only two sources of reference we could go to find out anything about ourselves is science and religion. They all say you've got to believe. So I got figuring out, how do you believe? How do you change a belief? Interesting subject, because I'm going to tell you something. Your results are nothing but the manifestation of your belief system. Well, our belief system, now listen carefully, is based upon our evaluation of something. And frequently when we reevaluate a situation, our belief about that situation will change. Let me repeat that. Our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. Frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about it will change. I began reevaluating who I was. I started to study. I never stopped studying. And I found as I reevaluated, I had a much higher opinion of myself. I found out things about me that I would have never believed if you had told me. The power that's locked up within us, the marvelous system we've got. Do you know the blood circulates through your veins every 33 seconds, through hundreds of miles of passageway? Bang, just like that, clears all the food in and all the garbage out. Stop and think of the central nervous system. It's the most complex electrical system in the world. And you've got it. Think of your brain, an electronic switching station like that. You can change the vibration of yourself and everything around you. We have awesome powers, and it's all based on what you believe about you. This is worth studying.
Maybe, just maybe, we should have started with that video, right? Maybe, right? That was a powerful little video there, wasn't it? So Joey's in the countryside, so he's off air at the moment. He's in the bush, maybe, right? But anyway, that video was amazing. That last one, I think, is it worth watching again? It could be, right? Yeah, let's do it one more time, and then we're going to get going, right? Because I've got things to do. Joey's got things to do, and I've got a little bit of work to do today, and then we've got to go out. Kate wants to do a photo shoot, for some stuff that we're doing. So, incredible stuff. Incredible. Right. In fact, let's just watch this video one more time.
Possible if you believe. Well, I studied for a long time. I started to study this book, Think and Grow Rich. And he talks about belief in here. He says you're not ready for what you want until you believe you can get it. I found
that makes so much sense, doesn't it? You're not ready for what you want unless you believe you can get it, and until you believe you can get it. And that seems to be so true in so many different walks of life. You don't think that you can get that new job until you really hate the one that you're in, right? When it becomes that bad that you really got to change something. But that's sometimes it's important to know what you don't want, right? And you can use that as a catalyst, for change, for getting what you do want. You just got to decide what it is that you want. Write it down on a gold card and read it every day, right? And he gets into this, right? There's a lot in here.
only two sources of reference we could go to find out anything about ourselves is science and religion. They all say you've got to believe. So I got figuring out how do you believe? How do you change a belief? Interesting subject, because I'm going to tell you something. Your results are nothing but the manifestation of your belief system. Well, our belief system, now listen carefully, is based upon our evaluation of something. And frequently when we reevaluate a situation, our belief about that situation will change. Let me repeat that. Our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. Frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about it will change. I began reevaluating who I was. I started to study. I never stopped studying. And I found as I reevaluated, I had a much higher opinion of myself. I found out things about me that I would have never believed if you had told me. The power that's locked up within us, the marvelous system we've got. Do you know the blood circulates through your veins every 33 seconds, through hundreds of miles of passageway? Bang, just like that, clears all the food in and all the garbage out. Stop and think of the central nervous system. It's the most complex electrical system in the world. And you've got it. Think of your brain, an electronic switching station like that. You can change the vibration of yourself and everything around you. We have awesome powers, and it's all based on what you believe about you. This is worth studying.
It is worth studying. And when I'm listening to this, I think about that conscious awareness of emotion, conscious awareness of thought, and that's what it's about. He was talking earlier on about there's only moments. And, you've paid for yesterday. All you've got is moments today. But it's about being consciously aware and taking the right courses of action, action that's going to move you in the direction that you want to go in, Damn. This stuff is deep. It is. I love it. Because it helps me to focus. And I know that it's made a difference for Joey too. And you know, Joey could probably give you like 4 or 5 points, you know, that you could do right now, today, you know, to set up a better tomorrow for yourself. You know, so anyway, amazing. Right, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, click the notification button or the notification bell, and you'll learn when we're on. Usually around about the same time every week, Joey and I. And of course, you can find me on Facebook at The Real Mick McQuillan. And of course, you can find Joey on Facebook too at joey.unger. And of course, don't forget, go to joeyyunger1.isogenics.com/en-au to learn more about Joey's business. Just one of Joey's businesses, actually, where you can get involved and work directly with Joey. And he'll give you those steps, you know. And of course, he'll also point you in the direction of his mentors that he works with closely and follows. One of them being Bob Proctor, another being Eric Worre, and there's many, many more. So go and check it out. Okay. So obviously this is FHL, Freedom, Health and Lifestyle, episode 119. You have to have faith. You got to have faith. There's a song about that, right? You should have got that. Do you remember that song? Gotta have faith, faith, faith. I love that. I used to like that song. Yeah, we should get that. I should play that today, right? And again, just a shout out, congratulations to Joey and Sina, Crystal Manager, and of course, they're moving up the ranks in the Isogenics business as independent distributors. So well done to Joey and Sina, incredible. And ultimately, what they're doing is they're helping other people get started, and they're building an organization which is built on integrity and real values, you know. But again, be like Joey, be a good student, and of course, what does Joey say? Intentionally act on the thing that you want. That's what it's all about. You know, so if you want to be a better version of yourself, you've got to intentionally act on being a better version of you, right? What does that mean? Well, it means reprogramming this. How do you do that? Bob says you've got to read some books. You know, what kind of books would you read? Well, I've suggested the Think and Grow Rich. I'd also suggest The Magic of Thinking Big. I'd also suggest, you know, Psycho-Cybernetics by Max Waltz. You know, there's a whole bunch of books out there. And of course, get in touch with me, get in touch with Joey, and we can point you in the direction of what books could be good for you. I also love The Science of Getting Rich. I love that book. Probably, I like listening to audio, so I listen to them as I'm driving around. And of course, I would definitely go to YouTube, go to search Bob Proctor and search for the remastered webinar, You Were Born Rich. That is an incredible webinar, right? 6 parts, incredible. And it goes through all of his teachings from that time. I think it was filmed in the early 80s, but incredible webinar. Definitely go there. It's going to help you. It's going to help you a lot. Right. Listen, I'm going to get going. Like I say, thanks to Joey for turning up, Joey and Sina. And Sina was driving, by the way, so to let Joey be on that call. So we appreciate Sina. We appreciate Joey. They've got a long drive to get home. You know, it just shows the dedication that they have to what it is they're doing and the difference that they're trying to make for other people. And that difference then, you know, comes in the form of their lives improving as well. So, you know, if you want improvement in your life, maybe you're going to get around some new people. You know, maybe we can be part of that journey with you. We'd love to be, I'm sure of it. Okay, right. So let's play out with, you know, one of my favorite all-time videos, 3.5 minutes long, so much in it, so powerful. And it's a Bob Proctor video. Right, listen, guys, we'll see you next week. And have an amazing day. Wherever you are, have an amazing day, have an amazing week. You know, make a difference for yourself, make a difference for other people, and just be the best version of yourself. You know, that's all I ask for, you know, from everybody that works in my organization. I ask 2 things. Turn up as the best version of yourself and be personally responsible. And if you're acting as the best version of yourself and you're being personally responsible, when something goes wrong, we know it's not intentional, right? You know it's not intentional. It's just something that's gone wrong, and now you know there's a lesson there for you to learn, so you can change it and be better and be a better version of yourself, right? That's what we want. We want to turn up as the best version of ourselves, and I encourage everybody on my organization to do that. And you know, if I'm asking them to do it, don't I have to do it too? And I do. So I have to be that person too, right? So amazing, guys. Listen, let's go and get it done. See you later.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Now, do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. Now we say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.